Well, here we are, episode 5 of Star Trek Voyager. Hey, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina Kairos, Tina. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy stuff going on here. And if you could please hit the thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. Did you notice how if you scroll through Facebook, to not necessarily if you liked it, but maybe you thought it was cute, or maybe you just want to know, let the person know you saw it, or your acquaintance know you acknowledge their posting, and you hit like. Do you know on YouTube you don't do that? If you could please like my video, I'd appreciate it. But I'm a series person. I like series, and we did all Star Trek Next Generation, so now we're gonna do all of Voyager. So we are doing the phage today, the cloud next week, Eye of the Needle the week after, and ex post facto the week after that. We've already done time and time again, and the caretaker and those things. And they are, you probably cannot hear it because of my awful sound system, but they are doing construction next door, and it sounds like they're doing it in my house. I can hear it so closely to me. So, we're in the phase. We have a captain's voiceover. Captain's log, stardate 48532.4. We are on our way to a rogue planetoid with Mr. Nelix tells us is an extremely rich source of raw dilithium. If he's right, this could go a long way towards easing our power shortage. Shall we see? So Janeway and Chakotay are talking. Assuming we do find the lithium on this planetoid, we're going to need a refining facility on the ship to process it. Chakotay says Lieutenant Torres has already asked permission to start modifications to the auxiliary impulse reactor. It could be converted into a crude dilithium refinery. The impulse reactor. Sometimes I think B'Elanna goes out of her way to find solutions that ignore Starfleet procedures. Her arguments are quite convincing. She thinks it can be done safely. I'm sure it can. Tell her I want regular reports on her progress every step of the way. Are you sure you won't join me for breakfast? I'm thinking of having eggs Benedict with asparagus, strawberries, and cream. Janeway said, I was thinking about it. I'm actually having ration pack number 5. Stewed tomatoes with dehydrated eggs. Sounds delicious, but I've already had my vacuum packed oatmeal this morning. See you on the bridge, and they part ways. Okay, so Janeway walks into the officer's mess, and she discovers Nelix has redecorated the officer's mess. What is going on here? Captain, you caught me by surprise. I could say the same thing. What are you doing? Well, I know how you and the other senior officers have been, disappointed with the rations lately, so I thought I'd use a few of the vegetables from the hydroponics bay and whip you up a little breakfast. You've turned this into a galley? It wasn't easy. I had to completely reroute the mess hall power conduits and scrounge a lot of supplies from all over the ship. But that's my specialty, making something out of nothing. I know it doesn't look like much, but in a few days you'll swear this gallery had been here for years. Be careful, that's spicy. Nelix, who approved this? No one. Well, you might have asked me first. This used to be my private dining room. Your dining room. If you check the ship's directory, you have noticed the cabin 125 Alpha. Deck 2 is designated as the captain's private dining quarters. Oh, well, then I guess you'll be wanting to move all the stuff out of your way. And Chakotay contacts Captain Janeway to come to the bridge. And Nelix says, Ensign Parsons, would you mind keeping an eye on things until I get back? Rotate the Davat fritters every 10 minutes until they turn chapoose. And there's people eating in there. Damn. So Nelix goes with her to the bridge, and they're looking at this planet. We're picking up definite dilithium signatures, Captain. The strongest readings are originating from 10 kilometers inside the planetoid. It also looks like there's a series of subterranean caverns with oxygen-nitrogen atmosphere. Chakotay says, Class M. It'll make mining a lot easier if we go in there without environmental suits. How much dilithium are we taking? It's hard to be precise. It could be anywhere from 500 to 1,000 metric tons, Torres says. Just as I said, I bet there are a few engineers who'd give all three of their spinal columns to know where the planet is. Let's see. Janeway orders Chakotay to take a team down to do a I can't think of the word now. Geological survey. So Nelix talks the captain into letting him go on this away mission with them. So it's Chakotay, Kim, and Nelix. And this is a bad decision for Nelix. And I know it's probably a plot point. And I will tell you that they never mention this again. And in fact, I think it happens again. I may be wrong on that. But we have to watch it through to see what happens next. But it may happen or maybe it doesn't happen. But they never mention this incident again. They never mention the loss of the organ again. But I'm pretty sure that... Alright, let's see what happens next to see if I'm right or not. So we're in the tunnel, and they're doing their dilithium survey, and they're scanning the rocks and stuff like that. And Nelix finds something. And so he goes to check with Nelix, and it changes. The tunnel changes. So Nelix is doing his exploring. He gets separated from the other two guys. And a tunnel opens up. And he's like, Commander. And he's like, anybody in here? Anybody in here? What happens to poor Nelix? So, the guy zaps Nelix, and then the next thing you know, they're transporting him to sickbay. Get the blood gas infuser. The what? Equipment storage unit 2, second shelf on the right. Chakotay goes for the equipment. Hold him still. The EMA tranquilizes Nelix. What's happening, doctor? He's going into a coma. The infuser will keep his oxygen level stable for the next hour or so, but after that, he'll die. His lungs have been removed. How could anybody remove his lungs so quickly? Did you find any evidence of the life sign? Nelix reported no. Captain, I've analyzed the sensor logs from Nelix tricorder. The bioscanner picked up a single Class 3 humanoid organism. The blood gas infuser will keep him alive for another 47 minutes. The only chance for his survival I can see at the moment is to get his own lungs back. Can't we refit him with a pair of artificial lungs? Janeway asked. His respiratory system is directly linked to multiple points along his spinal column. It's too complex to replicate. It may be able to surgically reattack the organs if we get them back. In the meantime, I have to search for other options. Commander, I'm taking an away team to the planet. You're in charge until we return. Inform Mr. Tuvek I want 3 armed security detachments to accompany us. Issue Type 3 phasers. And then they continue working with Nelix. So the 3 of them go down there, and she finds the wall where the life sign supposedly was. So they all line up in a row. They get their phasers. They shoot the wall. Look what appears. So then we're back in sickbay, and the doctor has decided to create a holographic pair of lungs for Nelix. However, if he creates the holographic pair of lungs for Nelix, Nelix will be stuck in sickbay for the rest of his life. However, it may give him a little extra time for them to recover Nelix's original lungs, which we may or may not do. We do see those guys again. It's another episode way, way down the road, but we do see those guys again. Now, the doctor is trying to demonstrate to Paris. So, the doctor hit Paris, and it was Paris felt the physical hit on his face. Then the doctor has Paris hit him, but when Paris hits him, his hand goes through him. The magnetic containment field that creates the illusion of my body can be modulated to allow matter to pass through it or to be stopped. I might be able to modulate the holographic lungs in the same way, allowing oxygen and carbon dioxide to pass from the lungs to the bloodstream. But like I said, if this is successful, he'll be stuck in sickbay for the rest of his life. So then they go in the chamber, and they find a room full of organs. This room is the source of the lithium signature we detected earlier. The power systems are running on an unusual dilithium matrix. So there are no dilithium deposits on this planet. It would appear not. And it looks like they declare it a storage facility, and they cannot find Nelix's organs. And then someone shoots at them. The guy shoots at them and then escapes, and he puts up a force field that they can't get through. And Chakotay calls down to them saying they're picking up another ship. And Janeway's like, yeah. She wants them to tractor the ship. And Chakotay says that they've already left. They're gone. So the doctor is creating Nelix's lungs. So the doctor's quite pleased with himself that he was successful in creating the artificial holographic lungs. Then we get a captain's log. Captain's log supplemental. We are pursuing the alien ship from the moon. They are not responding to hails, and it appears that our 2 ships are evenly matched for speed. So then they're informing Nelix of his holographic lungs and the fact that the doctor's not sure how long he'll live with the holographic lungs. This is the first procedure. It's never been done before. But the clincher is that Nelix will never be able to leave sickbay. And that's not the way he wants to live. And he gets a little depressed. That's very realistic. Anybody would get depressed if they were told they had to lie there forever, or maybe stuff would improve and he would be able to walk around sick bay, but he would have to be confined to sick bay for the rest of his life. And I don't know what's going to happen if there was a power outage. We won't go there. But Nelix is very depressed. And everybody would be depressed with this news. And you have to give kudos to the actor to have all that makeup on and just with your face express all your emotions on your face with no other body language going. You have to give it to him. You have to give him props for doing all that. Expressing all his despair and everything. All the thoughts that are going through his mind at this point when you're told that, you may have to stay here forever. So that Nelix is having a private convo with Kes, and he's getting those suicidal thoughts. The doc just needs to let me go. This isn't realistic for anybody to lie here forever. His quality of life is not going to be good. Christopher Reeve lived totally, absolutely paralyzed. He was able to go places though in his chair. So maybe one day they would develop one of those machines that could travel, be portable. Or maybe they would develop enough that he could walk around the room. Or maybe when we hit the 21st or 2nd or 6th century, whatever it is, later in season 5, 6, 7, when the doctor gets the hollow emitter, he would be able to do other stuff. But at this point, life looks really bleak, and his quality of life looks really bleak at this point. And you can understand Nelix's, look, you might as well just pull the plug now. And Kes is like, but we need you. We need this. We need the chef. We need the food. We need the cooking. We need you for your stuff. She tries. Kes really tries. Doctor's like, visiting hours are over. Polana has shown Captain Janeway the device. We've completed our diagnostic on the alien device. It appears to be more than a weapon. It's a very sophisticated medical scanner and surgical instrument. From what we can tell, it uses a neural resonator to stun the victim while quantum imaging begins a microcellular analysis of their entire body. The amount of information this thing can gather puts a tricorder to shame. You fire this at someone, you learn everything about their anatomy, right down to the DNA sequencing. So, it sounds like we're dealing with aliens who've developed a technology specifically designed to locate and extract organs from other beings. Why? And then Chakotay tells them they see the ship. They have found the ship and it's hiding in a large asteroid. Tom says it's entered the asteroid. Hull position. Mr. Kim, I can't scan the interior. The surface stratium is made up of some of neutronium alloy. It doesn't look like a natural formation. Are you saying someone built this asteroid? It's possible. Any sign of weapons or defense systems? Negative. I think we've located where the ship entered. There's an open crater on the limb of the asteroid. Let's see it.
It's possible. Any sign of weapons or defense systems? Negative. Leads directly inside. How large is that crater? 200 meters in diameter. Captain, may I suggest you consider carefully what you're about to do?
So then they find the the hole that the alien put his ship in. Now, keep in mind, the alien ship is small, like a shuttlecraft, maybe bigger. And Janeway's like, how big is that hole? And Tom Paris is like 200 meters. And Chakotay goes, Captain, may I ask you to consider carefully what you are considering? Because he knows the captain is considering on going in after them. So Tuvok goes through the spiel, because she asked him, how does he know? And then he just turns around and says, he gives this whole explanation, and then he goes, precisely to say, I know you quite well. And she goes, one day I might surprise you, Tuvok, but today I'm not going to do it. Maximum alert, shields, red alert, the whole 9 yards. So they head on in. So Cass has decorated sick bay. She's put all these things up on the ceiling that Nelix can look at. Nelix is driving the doctor crazy. His nose itches. He calls the doctor over. Can you scratch my itch? And he talks again about, does he have to lie here for the rest of his life, and what kind of quality of life is he gonna have? And I mean, rightfully so. So they go in the chamber, and it seems to be full of ships. And I think the walls are emanating severe electromagnetic interference. I cannot scan them directly. It's like trying to move through a hall of mirrors. You never know when you're going to walk into the glass. I'm picking up the alien's ion trail. Maybe we should follow that. He might have left a fake trail to lure us in, Chakotay says. There's a chance we're going to have to take. Tuvok, extend the deflectors to maximum range. If we do run into something, it'll give us an extra margin of error. And they go in. Then the doctor and Cass have a conversation. Doctor is tired of every time Nelix has this itch or something comes near him, or whatever, he's calling the doctor every 10 seconds, so the doctor's over it. And so the doctor and Cass, he calls Cass in and goes, you be Nelix's private nurse. You handle all his little itches and scratches and stuff. And he wants Tess to reassure Nelix. Good. If you don't mind, I'd like you to remain in sickbay so you're here when he wakes up. Of course. Are you all right? Me? You seem agitated. Of course I'm agitated. This entire situation is getting out of control. You mean Nelix? First they tell me there's no doctor, so I have to be on call 24 hours a day. And then they tell me there's no nurses, so I have no one to assist me. I thought Tom Paris was assigned to you. Like I said, no one to assist me. And now I have a patient with severe and possible long-term emotional problems, and there's no counselor on board. I'm an emergency medical supplement. A supplement, that's all. I wasn't programmed for any of this. It's just unacceptable. So, Cass eventually volunteers to divide her time between sickbay and the aponics bay where she's growing the plants. She will become a little bit of a nurse. Tom will also spend some time in sickbay, but Cass will be here the most. So then we go to engineering. And I know I've said it before, but it won't be prevalent for another couple of episodes. But the person is fine. I don't like the character of Seska though. She's evil. All right, she's not evil this moment. She's got evil thoughts now, but she doesn't do anything about it for a few more episodes. So Torres is talking to Seska. Lieutenant, I'm picking up a minor power fluctuation in the warp core. Compensate with the KLS stabilizer. No effect. In fact, the power loss is starting to accelerate. Janeway to Torres, what's going down in there? Some kind of power drain. I can't localize it, but we're losing power at the rate of 7% per minute, Torres says. Kim says, the power drain is coming from somewhere in this chamber, Captain. It's some kind of dampening field. It's bleeding energy away from the warp nacelles. And Captain tells Jane B'Elanna to shut down the cells now. Turn them off, turn them off, turn them off. Can you pinpoint the source of the dampening field? Kim, it appears to be 217 Mark 015 distance, 547 meters. Tuvek, what would happen if we locked phasers and fired at the source? The walls of this chamber reflect direct energy. The phaser beam would ricochet along an unpredictable path, impacting our ship in the process. All right, we won't try that. Well, maybe we should, Chakotay says. What would happen if we reduced the power phase level to a minimum setting and set out a continuous beam? The phaser would continue to reflect the bulkheads until it encountered a non-reflective material. Until it encountered a non-reflective material, Chakotay says. Like the alien's real ship. Janeway's like, let's do this! So they do this, and they find the aliens. There's 2 aliens on the ship. And they transport them to the ship. We do see these people again. We do. I know we do. You're on the Starship Voyager. I am Captain Catherine Janeway of the United Federation of Planets. I am Darius of the Validian Solidarity. You attacked one of our crew members and you lured us into this asteroid. Why? We are gathering replacement organs and suitable biomatter. It's the only way we have to fight the phage. This virus, some kind of disease? Yes, it attacked our people over 2 millennia ago. It consumes our bodies, destroys our genetic codes and cellular structures. Do you harvest the bodies of other beings to replace your own tissues as they're consumed by the phage? Our immune technology cannot keep up. The phage adapts. It resists all attempts to destroy it. Our society has been ravaged. Thousands die each day. There's no other way for us to survive. I have great sympathy for what your race has endured, but I cannot allow you to keep the organs you removed from one of our crew members. We need them back immediately. I'm afraid that's not possible. I've already biochemically altered the air-breathing organs and gifted them into Mara's body. They're part of him now. He is my Hana. He is tasked to find the organs I need for survival. We try to extract them from the dead, but sometimes when the need is immediate, more aggressive actions are required. So now I'm left with the same choice you made, whether to commit murder to save a life or to allow my own crewman to die while the air you breathe is through his lungs. It may be impossible for you to understand how any civilized people could come to this. Before the phage, we were known as educators and explorers, as people whose greatest achievements were artistic. I myself am a sculptor of note on the wall. All I can say is that when your entire existence is at stake, you don't have to explain yourself, Marcia. It's the consequences of this act as a death sentence, so be it. At least it will put an end to my suffering. I can't begin to understand what your people have gone through, Janeway says. They may have found a way to ignore the moral implications of what you're doing, but I have no such luxury. I don't have the freedom to kill you to save another. My culture finds that to be reprehensible and entirely unacceptable act. If we were closer to home, I would lock you up and turn you over to my authorities for trial. But I don't have that ability here either. I'm not prepared to carry you forever in our brig, so I see no alternative to let you go. Take a message to your people. If I ever encounter your kind again, I will do whatever is necessary to protect my people from this harvesting. Any aggressive actions against the ship or crew will be met by the deadliest force. Is that clear? And then they say, I want to see your guy. So they take him in to see Nelix. So the alien takes his device and he scans everybody in sickbay and determines that Tess, of course, they're the same species. Tess can sacrifice her lung and give it to Nelix, and then Nelix will be able to live outside of sickbay. And this is never brought up again. His lung issue, his breathing issue, his health issue is never brought up again after they give him Tess's lung. Hold on a second. Let me cough my brains out. So then the guy says the results of his scanning, they're all suitable as organ transplants. And the doc is explaining that we've already been through that. Taloxian physicality is different from everybody else. But like I said, it's closest to Tess. So Tess ends up giving Nelix her lung. They don't show the both biobeds, so screw that. The alien's device makes the acceptance of Tess's organs automatic, and there's no problems with it. There's no rejection. There's none of that kind of stuff. So that's the end of the phase, and we will move on to the cloud next week. Have a good one.